Hello and welcome to the Visibility Vixen podcast. I'm your host, Michelle Lewis, and this show is 100% geared to come alongside you, give you a huge hug, and encourage you to keep going down this crazy trail of entrepreneurship. Between myself and the many incredible guests that come on to talk to you, you're going to leave each episode feeling inspired, motivated, and a little bit more balanced for the road ahead. I'm all about building a brand of integrity, purpose, and skyrocketing your visibility so that you can step into that incredible mission you were born to live. So grab a cup of iced tea, pop in those earbuds, and let's chat. Hey everyone, welcome back to Visibility Vixen. I am really thrilled to bring this guest to you today because I think this is such a cool topic and it's not one that a lot of people know about. So I want to welcome to the show Carolien Mertens. Hey Carolyn, how are you?
Hi Michelle, I'm really great. Thanks so much for having me.
I'm so excited that you're here. You were referred to me by the wonderful Joanna Turner, who's been on the show before, and you specialize in live events. So this is going to be a really fun show, especially I think that it's really important as an entrepreneur that, of course, you can have the online element of your business, but eventually you do want to start meeting people in person. So this is going to be a really juicy episode. And before we get started, I'm going to tell people a little bit more about you and read part of your bio, and then I want you to kind of expand upon it in terms of how you got involved in this industry and a little bit about you. So Carolyn is a location-free event planner. She works all over the world, including New York and Europe and counting, for digital entrepreneurs, biz owners, and coaches. Carolyn has been able to, in less than 5 years, hold over 100 professional events with 10,000 participants, and she's expanded to include major organizations, national governments, universities, and museums. So it's so cool, Carolyn, and I want you to kind of expand upon that in terms of what got you into this and what do you really love about it?
Yeah, sure. So I really rolled into the event planning business step by step, and it was not really planned that way because I majored in history at university, which was my passion for a long time. And at the end of university, I didn't want to go in more traditional professions like teaching. So I was looking for an opportunity to come up, and I was able to do an internship for an art auction house. So yes, that was really nice because I could combine my history background. We were auctioning off archaeological objects. Wow. And I was, yes, and I was also learning about more practical side of the business, how to plan auctions, how to welcome guests, make sure everything got smooth. And after 2 years, I wanted to pursue this event planning in a more professional way, in a more full-time way. So I secured a job in an agency that did only conferences and meetings in Brussels. And a year ago, I decided to go freelance. So I became a full-time event planner. And I moved away from my local network to serve entrepreneurs and coaches online all over the world.
Wow, that's so awesome. I love event planning. I actually used to be an event coordinator in Los Angeles for an event company. And first of all, we both know, like with a type A personality, it's like just fuels your fire. I loved it. I loved being able to boss people around. It was fantastic. But I think there's a lot more that goes into it. So right now you're in Belgium, right?
Yes, I am in Brussels.
In Brussels. And so talk to me a little bit about how you figured out, because it's, event planning is its own industry, and now you're figuring, you're incorporating now helping entrepreneurs to build up their live events. So how did you kind of figure that out and combine that marketplace?
Yes, so I was really passionate about productivity because I'm an event planner.
Mm-hmm.
So I started to read productivity blogs online. I stumbled upon I Will Teach You to Be Rich by Rami Sethi.
Mm-hmm.
And from there, this was like 3 years ago. And so from there, I learned about the online education world. I saw what people were doing, what they were creating for themselves and for others. And I felt really drawn to this beautiful new way of doing business, learning, planning your life. And I saw this trend also of people who did online business, and then they connected with their audience offline in offline events. So there was a market for what I could offer. So for me, it was the perfect opportunity to dive into the market and combine my personal passion with my skills and help entrepreneurs and coaches create these beautiful experiences for themselves and for their audiences. So that's how that connects.
Yeah, I love that. So talk to me a little bit about the entrepreneurs that you've worked with and maybe like one or two stories about putting that event together and what that experience was like. I kind of want the audience to be able to feel like in a way they're sitting down at this event and experiencing what you created.
Yes, okay. So I've worked with entrepreneurs that hosted smaller events, and most of them they created this cycle of group coachings. So for them, it's really important that everything goes very smoothly and that it fits right in with their day-to-day business planning. Because when you're planning an event for a large corporation, they have different departments. Maybe they have an in-house event planner or somebody who is there for the communication. But when you're working with entrepreneurs, they're smaller in size. The teams are smaller in size, of course. Sometimes it's just one person, and this person is also the face of the event. It's their clients that are coming, so everything has to be very smoothly, very authentic as well. People have to have a great time, have to feel this possibility to connect and to make these in-person connections. So that's really the difference between working with entrepreneurs who put their heart and soul into their business, into their events, into their audiences, and larger corporations where there are all the tools in place, but maybe the employees are not as emotionally invested into the event as an entrepreneur would be.
Mm-hmm. I gotcha. So I've had the blessing of being at quite a few different events and having those different experiences. And one was 12 people, one was like 500 people. And for me, I really cannot stand the kind of pitchy events where you know you're there just to up level to the higher thing. Not saying that it's wrong to upsell at all, but when it becomes kind of a manipulation and a full like 4 to 6 hours of the last day of an event, I'm like, no, that doesn't feel good to me at all. So it makes me think about my favorite events. And the first one was Mel Farr's Ascend Live that she hosted in New York. And what I loved about that is it wasn't some conference room. She rented out like the penthouse of the hotel. So it was still like a really long table and you could all sit around it, but it just felt more intimate. It felt more upscale. And she dedicated so much time to really help you walk away with actionable, implementing information. And then I think about the next step above that, which is like probably 75 to 100 people, which was Joanna Turner's Entrepreneur Edge Live event. I
Mm-hmm.
loved the promotion for that. I loved the table setup. I loved the stage. It had like a couch, and so she could walk around, but it also was more comfortable. I love that she brought in panelists of other women to talk about certain things. I love that like Jen Mavros, who's been on the show before, did a meditation where she was walking around the room. I really, really loved all of that. And I think that this would be a great opportunity to transition into the different steps. Let's say you're taking someone like me or someone else
Mm-hmm.
that has, not a huge list, but a good list. And
Mm-hmm.
maybe they're starting with an event with 20 people, maybe 50 people. What would be, if you were sitting down and consulting with me, what are the different aspects that I would really need to look at in order to
Mm-hmm.
host a live event?
Absolutely. So the first thing that you would need to do is to sit down and get clear on your vision. So you talked about Joanna Turner's event.
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately, I wasn't there this last time, but I might be this year.
Did.
And yes, and so you talked about the experience, how the room was feeling for you, different people she brought in. So the first question that I would ask you is, why do you want to host an event? What's the reason? Do you want to host a larger event, so 20 to 50 people? Will these be people who have been following you but didn't work with you yet? Or is this an event for confirmed clients? Um, why do you want to do it for yourself? Do you want to add a premium service to what you offer already? Is it to step up your authority as an expert in your field? Do you want to cultivate your community? Do you want to bring people together face to face? Do you want to be that connector for your audience? So these are different reasons. There are many others, but these are like three different reasons that people might want to host events. And you
Mm-hmm.
have to be really clear on what's that reason for you.
I love that.
Um, yeah, because everything depends of that. Depends how you are going to do the logistics, where, when, for who, how you're going to promote, and how you are going to plan the actual event content, the agenda, and the lineup of different speakers.
Awesome. So let's say it's going to be an event for 20 people.
Mm-hmm.
Let's say that it's going to be to establish authority in the
Mm-hmm.
market. And let's say, like for me, the market is visibility.
Yes.
And let's say I've put together I would think like a vision board or something kind of about the feeling that I want the event to have.
Mm-hmm.
What would the next step be?
Okay, so that's really good. If you come to me like that,
Mm-hmm.
that's perfect. We can take it from there. So the next step would be to establish a date, because a date is very important in the year. It's important for you as a business owner, and it's important for your attendees as well. So you have to look at your personal calendar, and you also have to take into consideration other external facts. There is an event season. The, the event season runs from early September till mid-November.
Interesting.
And yes, that's when all the conference rooms are booked out.
Mm.
Of course, if you're hosting a smaller event, 20 people, you can get creative on the venue.
Mm-hmm.
So you also have to take into consideration when people are able to travel, because hosting an in-person event means that your attendees have to come to you.
Mm-hmm.
So, for example, midsummer, beginning of August, or around the turn of the year might not be the best moments. And then the last aspect is, if you already have like a venue in your mind, you want to make sure that this venue is available in your given time.
So let's say I'm ready to set my date. Is there a good amount of prep time that would be needed for someone to go, okay, like, is it 3 months? Is it 6 months? Especially if it's kind of less people, I would think that you wouldn't need, you know, a year in advance, really.
No.
So what do you think?
So I think if you are hosting for 20 people, 3 months would be a comfortable timeline to plan an event, because you can first get clear on how you want to look, how you want your event to look. You can check out dates and venues, and you can notify your list and your audience in advance. It's also possible to do it in less than 3 months. You can do it in 2 months, but to be on the safe side, especially for the first time, 3 months would be like ideal.
So because I feel like you're really good. Like for me, I like to feel into things and go, okay, what's everybody doing and how can I make mine better, right? So in terms of an event, let's say, you know, conference rooms are pretty done, you know, that kind of stuff. So let's say if it is 20 people, what are some really cool venue ideas that you would recommend that are a little bit more outside of the box?
Yes, okay, I love this question. My go-to tool is Airbnb. It's the website of Airbnb. I think it's a brilliant search engine for inspiration and for actual venues as well. Because it really, Airbnb has, I'm not an affiliate or anything, I'm just I'm just using it a lot. So it really has a good search engine where you can type in, for example, if you want to do 20 people in a cabin at a lake, for example, you want to isolate them from big city life. You want them to experience an authentic 2-day retreat, for example. You can you can just type in lake cabin, and then you can find actual spots, or you can get inspiration about regions where there are these kind of venues for rent, and then you can do a Google search, for example, if Airbnb doesn't accommodate you. So that's really my creative go-to tool. Another possibility is to ask your friends if anybody has like a great summer house maybe, or a beautiful urban loft that you could use for the day. That's also to tap into your existing network. That's something that,
good idea.
Sorry.
No,
Yeah.
I'm just sitting here like thinking, I'm feasting on this information, going, ooh, like I have all these ideas. Okay, so for timeline, if this is your first event, I feel like 3 days would be a lot. That's what normally events are. But let's say it's your first event and you're planning on 20 people. Do you think a shorter time window, like maybe one day, is a better start so that you can really like rock that one day?
Yes, I think so, absolutely. Especially if you're doing it on your own, if you don't have a team behind you, it's already a big responsibility to fill a whole day. You might even start with half a day with an intensive, because it's important to have everything well planned out. You need support. You might just ask a friend of yours to be there to help you, and it's important to be very clear on how the day is going to look, that you are comfortable with your content that you're going to deliver, so that you have time and space in your head to welcome your participants and to really connect with them, instead of stressing out about all the logistics. Is the catering going to be delivered on time? Oh my God, this projector isn't working. I need to contact somebody to fix this right now. Other things, somebody's late. Can we wait for them? So you need to be you need to own your timeline to really be there in the moment and to really have your energy to connect with your audience and to really deliver their value in the way that you want.
I like that a lot. I'm thinking like, okay, if it's your first event, like maybe like 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. or something would be
Mhm.
a good start for somebody. I like that.
Yes, I think so. So I'm doing my first event where I'm the speaker in a
Yay!
couple of days. So
Congrats.
I will thanks. So I will be on the other side of the room for once, for the
Mm-hmm.
first time. And I started with half a day for myself, even if I've
Perfect.
planned 3-day events with 1,000 attendees for other people. But I don't want to put that pressure on myself. Everybody's different, of course, and it depends on how comfortable you are. But the best recommendation is really to imagine yourself doing it. So if 3 days or 2 days or a whole day seems daunting, just do it a little smaller, and you can always
Like a
upskill
workshop or
later.
something. Yeah.
Yeah, a workshop with 10 people. Why not?
Yeah.
It's like a
Okay.
test run.
I love that. Okay. And now I'm thinking like, okay, now you're trying to entice people. You're trying to limit your time so you're not up there talking for 6 hours, but you want to make it
Hmm.
interesting and keep people's attention. So let's dive in a little bit into guest experts. Is that something that you
Yes.
recommend for entrepreneurs to kind of not only up the visibility of the event, but to make it a little bit more stimulating?
I love this. Yes, I do. I do love to work with guest experts for a couple of reasons. First, because as you said, you are tapping into more networks than your own, so you have a larger reach to reach the attendees that you want to come. And second, because it creates this beautiful synergy on the stage of a conversation. And it takes the edge off yourself. You don't have to present for 4 hours straight. You can improvise and see what how it's going. So you can have a conversation, or your guests might do an exercise with your attendees, or maybe they deliver a keynote speech. There are a lot of possibilities, and it's really cool to get creative with guest experts. And usually they really appreciate to work with you, because it's
Yeah.
an excellent opportunity to get in front of somebody else's audience.
And I feel like that would be a great, like, yeah, of course they can pitch whatever service they're offering, but even to just have someone videotaping the event and they get that footage, like that's great for their speaking reel. So I feel like that would be a
Absolutely.
great way to provide mutual benefit. So let's talk a little bit about, now I'm thinking about the people that are in the event and they're sitting there and they're looking at you. What are like must-haves in order to facilitate materials that will help
Mhm.
not only keep people's attention, but make them feel like I'm really welcome here, but on a budget, not crazy.
Right. Okay. So one thing that is always really nice to have is basic branding in the room. It can be as easy as just some signs that you printed, like a poster,
Mm-hmm.
to make the room your own. Um, you can put it on a wall, but you can also provide it in the form of a workbook, for example, or worksheets
Mm-hmm.
with your title, your logo on there, so that makes it really personalized. Then if there is budget for catering, drinks are always nice. It's always nice to come into a room and already have water and maybe some coffee and tea set out for your guests, so they can meet each other at a coffee table. It creates instant connections rather than having them sit at their places and wait for you to start. And some flowers or some plants, some kind of decoration that adds a personal touch. And this can really be on a budget. You don't have to be spending a lot of money to create this personal touch. You can even bring some objects that you have in your home and that you really love to show your personality and to make your guests feel like they are in your room, they are with you, like they feel when they are on your website, for example.
Mm. I really like that. That makes me think about, well, instead of like standing and talking, like I don't know if you can see I have a director's chair that's white right here. Like that would be really cute, and that's my branding. I also have a really big like tufted chair that looks like a queen's chair. Like that would be fun too. I love the idea of being able to take little accents from your home, in addition to, like, we have this store in the United States called Trader Joe's, and it has tons of flowers out front. It's like these sunflowers right here. I'll turn the camera a little bit. Right there, you got like 6 of them for $3.99. So I think what a great way to just bring a little bit of something to a space. And I love the idea of having like worksheets or something. I think that's what's bothered me about past events that I've gone to, is that usually it's just like a notepad with the hotel branding, and it's like, well, this is great, but it's not really something, like once you bring it home, you're not really filing it anywhere. You're more tempted to just throw it away because you have kind of disorganized notes on it.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm
absolutely.
sure you've seen that too.
Yeah, of course. It's true. And you just see the hotel brand and not the name of the event where you were. So absolutely.
Yeah. So, okay. So now we have pretty much like what needs to be at the event, bringing in guest speakers. The event is really shaping up. But now what I would worry about is, how do I get people's butts into the seats? So how do you recommend promoting the event in an organic, heartfelt way to bring across your message and to attract the right people?
Okay, that's a really good question. And if it's your first event, what I really like is to start off in an authentic way. So you can email your list if you have a list. Maybe some people have a Facebook group. You can announce to your audience that something really special is coming up. You can create a little bit of suspense of, you can build expectations. Okay, something special is coming up. Don't say what it is. And then you can announce that you are going to host a live event. Then people are going to show interest. But maybe you don't have a list. And if you don't have a list, that's not a problem. You can still fill a room with 20 people. And the best way to do that, I think, is to start shaping up a guest list of people in your network that you think might be interested in joining you, and reaching out to them with a personalized email, one by one. That's a really good way to get started. Some of them might say, this is not the topic that I'm interested in. Others might say, I'd love to come. Where can I book my tickets? And maybe others will say, I'm not available on that day, but I'm really interested in this topic. So maybe for the next time. So you have a guest list, and then you start to see who is really interested. So you are going to sell your first tickets, and something really great to do is to offer a bring a buddy incentive, like I like to call it. So imagine that you have 10 people who said, okay, I'm going to come, and you are, for example, 3 weeks ahead of your event date. Then you can write them an email and tell them, I'm offering this really special bonus for everybody who brings a friend to the event. And this bonus can be anything. For example, it can be like 2 half-hour follow-up sessions after the event for you and your friend that you bring, for example. So this really encourages people to tap into their network, and you can tell them, I'm looking for entrepreneurs who are interested in getting more visible in different ways, with video, for example. So they know who they have to think of within their network.
I love that. Tasty. Very tasty. Okay, so all of that's together. This is really shaping up. I love it. Now let's talk about what you recommend, what online program you recommend to sell these tickets so that the process is kind of taken care of for you.
Yes, okay. I really love to use Eventbrite. It's a website where you can, when you can post events for free. If you want to charge for tickets, they take a small fee. You can choose whether you want to absorb that fee or if you want to pass it on to your customer. And it's really great because you can embed the Eventbrite page into your website. So you can notify your list with a link that's part of your own domain, and you have the whole Eventbrite event management service behind the scenes. It's also possible to send out invitations through their system, for example, or you can share the event on Facebook and other social media. So that's really a great option for people who want an all-in-one service that's not too expensive. They charge a small percentage of your ticket fee to use their service. Another option, of course, for entrepreneurs who have already Infusionsoft, for example, is to use their own CRM system like they do for their online courses, and they can run their event management tasks through their existing CRM. So it's maybe for entrepreneurs who already have this service set up.
Yeah, I think for me, I really love Eventbrite. That's what I'm using for the ConvertKit meetup, and it's great. People can get their tickets and get their confirmations and all that easily, and the event is free. And I was thinking for my events, I think Samcart, which is a software that I have, which is like checkout pages, would be really great, because then if someone purchases it, I can tag them to be opted into a certain sequence in my in ConvertKit. So I think that would be a great way to do it too. I love this. This is great. So I think that this is a great start for someone that's going, I want to start getting into live events, you know, no matter how big your list size is, especially with Facebook now and the different Facebook groups, you can really get your name out there even if you don't have a huge list. And what a great authority builder. Like, that's what I've been thinking about and why I'm going to start this probably a little bit earlier than I should. A lot of people start doing live events once they've hit 80,000 or 100,000 subscribers, which is great. But I think at the same time, if you do it a little bit earlier in a smaller size, and especially if you're having photography done or videography done, you can be incorporating this into the brand videos of your website and really increasing your visibility in that way. What do you think?
Yes, absolutely. I really love that you touch on this subject because I really like to use all the effort that you put into your beautiful live event to create something for your marketing material or even for your course material for later on, so you can refer to it. It's a great way to have beautiful pictures taken where you are in action, where you're interacting with your audience. Or even you can tape it on video And what I really like as well is to record live testimonials for later use. That's a really easy thing to do. You basically just need a smartphone and a selfie stick or a little tripod, and your attendees are really there. The room is beautiful. They're really enthusiastic about what they just experienced. So it's really the perfect moment to capture their enthusiasm about you and your services in video. So yeah, that's really something that I recommend to my clients as well.
I love that. And I think that you could also, at certain points during the event, live stream in your Facebook group parts of the event so people can feel like, oh my gosh, I have to go to the next one, and feel like you're
Love
there just a
that.
little bit in spirit. I think this is great. And guys, this is what we're aiming to do. We're not aiming to do things the exact same way as other entrepreneurs out there, because you have to remember the business model changes now like every 3 months. So we have to start thinking outside the box. Don't depend 100% on your list, because as much as I absolutely adore my list, the email open rates are steadily declining because video and visibility on Facebook is becoming increasingly more popular. So you have to constantly kind of reinvent yourself, reinvent the wheel, figure out different ways where you can really optimize your image in a non-standard way. So I think this has been such a great opportunity to go, maybe I can have a small workshop with 5 people, or maybe my first event with 10 people. Like, it's totally doable. Just make sure that you're maximizing your return by taking advantage of recording or doing photography, and like maybe you can upsell to your course or your one-on-one coaching package or whatever. Even if it's not thousands and thousands of dollars, that's okay. Just start getting out there and making this work for you. So I think this has been so actionable, so fantastic. Are there any last words of wisdom that you'd like to give to our beautiful audience today?
Yes, I want to tell them to enjoy themselves in the process. Don't look at what everybody else is doing. Go with your gut, and just don't be afraid to think outside the box. And if you want to do something at your event, just do it, and your audience will love you for it.
I love that. Thank you so much for being here today. Let us tell them the beautiful gift that you're giving out today for the people that are listening.
Yes, I'm so happy to share with you my starter guide to planning wildly successful events. So I think it really sums up what we covered during this fantastic podcast session. And it's a really good tool for people who want to start planning events and don't know where to start. So you can go over to the link that Michelle will be putting on her website, and have fun with it, I would say.
Yeah, I'm going to put it below for you guys. So if you're watching on YouTube, it'll be in the description. If you're listening on iTunes or Stitcher, just view full description, and it will be a clickable link for you to nab that up right away. I think no matter where you're at in your business, you need something like this. You need to start cooking on that in your brain, just because months go by really quickly. So even if you set your event from a year from today, that timer is going to start going off pretty soon. So I think that this has been really actionable, very helpful. I know it's really inspired me to start putting more of that hat on and thinking more in terms of live events. So thank you so much, Carolyn. It's been such a privilege to have you here on the show. Thank you so much, and I really just wish you all the best for your live event this weekend. I cannot wait to hear all about it.
Thank you so much, Michelle. I really enjoyed connecting with you and with your beautiful audience.
All right, everyone. So be sure to nab up those links below, and we will see you in the next episode.
Thanks for listening in today to the Visibility Vixen podcast. Subscribe now and share with a fellow Vixen who wants to start building their visibility. For more fire in your life and brand, visit visibilityvixen.com.